Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Daniel Bateman for an interview today. How are you?
I'm great. Oh my God, it's so amazing to be here and to finally be talking to you like face to face. I feel like I've
I
known you.
know. Good. We've been talking on the phone for a while, but first time in person.
Yes, yes, you have such, like I said, such a good energy. So every time your name pops up on my page, I get so excited because I'm like, oh,
Mm.
she's like such a good cheerleader and such a good like supportive friend. And I just want to be all of those things back to you in whatever way I can as well.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, can we start the interview with you introducing yourself for people who don't know you?
Yeah, my name is Daniel Bateman. I have been in, I think like 13 verticals at this point, both as the male lead a few times, the antagonist several times, kind of a mixture of a path in verticals, and I'm doing them a lot more frequently now than I had planned too. And so
Mm.
it's been really fun to sort of get involved in the vertical world. I came from a strong musical theater, Broadway background, so it's nice to use some of those skills and bring it into this kind of over the top dramatic world.
Oh. How long were you doing theatre for before this?
I was doing theater since I was a kid. Honestly, I started singing and doing Broadway shows, tours when I was like 6 years old. So for a long time, I have been that loud, obnoxious child who wouldn't shut up.
Oh, I've heard you sing as well. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I wish verticals would utilize some of that, and that's something we
Oh,
talk
me
about
too.
too. But it's time. It's time to have more
It is
music.
time. I know plenty of actors and actresses who have beautiful voices. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to hear them on screen.
Yeah, let's do it. And it's great for the companies too, because it's music downloads, they'll be
Mm.
sharing all those clips. Yeah, I think it'd be a smart thing.
A vertical musical.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Vertical the
Yep.
musical. That.
Yeah. Oh, let's do it. I want that. I want
Just
that.
not the whole process of it.
Oh, yes, that's definitely need to be done. We need to push that.
Yes. I feel like you probably are really a good singer and you're just hiding it.
Oh, I used to sing karaoke. That's as far as I go. Um, I'm not musically trained or anything, but I have fun with it. But I haven't sung in years, so
Well, it's all
except
about
for
the
my
fun.
car. My car gets all my bad singing.
And the shower, I'm sure, right?
No, because my kids hear me and they're like, Mom, be quiet.
Oh,
We're watching our tablets.
I get it. So your car is like your private time.
Yes, yes. Except if my favorite band of all time is Home Free. I don't know if you know them.
I don't.
They're a country, well, they're not country, they're classed as country, but they do all genres, but they're an a cappella group.
Okay,
Um, Brilliant. I love them, and my kids love them, and they jam out in the back seat when we're in the car. So
that's cute. Do they watch verticals?
they don't, only because of most of the genre of verticals at the moment. I wouldn't want to
That
introduce
is
to a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old.
yeah, yeah,
But if we need a Disney vertical. We need a
yeah.
Disney vertical. Or like, my daughter comes in sometimes and I'm watching, a vertical and she's like, "Oh, Mum, you've spoken to that person on the computer." And I'm like, "Yeah, I have."
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's why I really liked doing when I led Taming the Billionaire Tycoon because that one was very whimsical and funny and just very lighthearted and so many of the
Yeah.
verticals like we've talked about can be very heavy and
Yeah.
intense. So you don't get to do a lot of the comedic ones, I find. I mean, they may have a couple roles
Yes.
that have those moments, but it's nice to do something that is completely over the top silly and fun.
Yeah. I mean, I would love a G-rated, just funny, comedic, no
Yeah.
slapping, no hitting, no major twist
No
storyline, just fun.
alphas, like none of that.
Yeah. Maybe
Yes.
one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah. I think you're honest.
All right. I have a few questions for you today.
Okay.
My first question, as a director yourself, does that change how you approach a role when you're acting?
Oh, so you're asking like when I'm directing, like how, like if I'm directing something, how does it change when I'm doing it myself too?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Um, it's funny because you really have to just take yourself out of it. Like anytime I've directed one, I can't think of it. I have to look at it from a perspective of like just any person watching it, not myself. I think we as actors kind of get into our own heads on how we are going to do things and how it's all going to look from our mind. And I think being a director is sort of the opposite. It's really in many ways kind of um making it this experience that is going to appeal to a broader audience and looking at it in ways that like we wouldn't necessarily see or think of with their edits or however they're going to do things with the team. So I think being a director it really does open up your mind to just the many different ways that you can position these verticals. There's a lot of
yeah,
different tones that you can take, and I think directors are really there to kind of keep that tone cohesive in many ways.
yeah. Well, that's good. All right. Is there a moment during filming that has stood out as especially meaningful or surprising to you?
A moment during I think something that would be really meaningful and powerful to me in a vertical would be when I did one with Real Short, Falling for My Ex's Mafia Dad, they had introduced, this LGBT storyline
Yes.
in the middle of it that was really special. And it was a different kind of LGBT storyline because it
Yeah.
wasn't the stereotypes that they often put in these verticals that
Yeah.
my character in that vertical was essentially like a bodyguard of sorts and someone who presented himself in a very protective masculine way and I think that's really important to have in these verticals because even if there is LGBT content and we'll talk about some of that they
Yeah.
do often make it like there's one way to be an
Yeah.
LGBT person.
But there's
And
so many ways. They're just who you are. It doesn't have to be just one. Yeah.
right. And I think that that was really special to be a part of that and to be given the opportunity to sort of um to have an LGBT character, but that wasn't what it was about. Like they just
Yes.
happened to be two guys who liked each other, and
Yeah.
I that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that vertical too. I heard on the grapevine that there's a number two, but I don't know if that's, yeah, don't,
I
no,
don't know.
can't tell me that.
I have not heard. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Could be. Yeah.
Fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah. It did really well. I know it performed well, so I was glad.
Yeah, it did. Well,
Mhm.
following on for the LGBT, my next question would be, how do you see the industry evolving when it comes to LGBTQIA representation on screen?
I see, well, within the vertical industry specifically, I see more and more, LGBT vertical storylines kind of out there, but it sort of goes back to what I was talking with you about just in that previous question was that I see them stereotyping a
Yeah,
lot. And they still are making it in many ways that there's this alpha presence that if there's a masculine character whatever that there's one that's more one extreme and then there's
yeah,
one that's submissive rather than just being two people.
yeah,
And I think that there are more ways to do this in a way that is healthy and reaches like a broader audience because I do genuinely I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but I do feel like the alpha dynamic can be harmful.
yeah,
Many ways. And I think as an actor, especially as you're a male actor in the vertical industry, there is sort of this toxicity about when you are auditioning for these, just kind of presenting yourself in this like overly masculine dominant way that
Yeah.
um isn't always real. I mean, I know a lot of these other actors and stuff who are doing this, and that's not how how we
Yeah.
necessarily are day to day, and we are more vibrant people. And I do think that sometimes that gets lost. And I understand there's a formula for for their audience and what they're trying to do, but I do think it needs to be talked about at some point that like you can be a male lead in these, and that there are different types of men out there, that
Yeah.
there isn't, even if you're a straight man, you don't have to, there's not just one type of straight man, you know what I mean?
No,
Like there I
plenty.
some of my straight friends are the most like sensitive, like
Hmm.
artistic, beautiful, funny human beings. So I would just like to see some more of that within the industry.
Yeah, I have quite a few gay friends, and they're all different. They are all different. Then you
Yeah.
can't pinpoint like you could like a lot of the time you're like, even though I hate this, you're walking down the street and you're a little bit more feminine, and then someone's like, oh, they're gay. It's like, no,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
And it's especially with the casting process, that's something that like unfortunately you do have to think about. Like sometimes you're thinking of your Instagram page or something and you're like, okay, well, what are my recent photos? What's on there? Does it present in this masculine way that as soon as they are going to look at it, are they thinking, whatever they're thinking? I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's really the reality of kind of the
oh,
harm that it can do sort of in the
yeah,
psyche, just being a human being sometimes.
oh, that is unfortunate to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
oh,
can be frustrating. Mhm,
yeah, I can understand that.
mhm.
Absolutely. Okay. What
You're doing great.
advice would sorry. Um, what advice would you give other actors navigating emotionally complex or underrepresented roles?
Oh, they just cut out for a second when you said that. I'm sorry. Can you
Oh,
repeat?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What advice would you give other actors navigating emotionally complex or underrated roles?
I would say for actors to be as authentic as they can. I think with verticals, it's different as an actor because you aren't necessarily always told to be real, in a sense.
Yeah,
And I think where I struggle with it, I think, is the line to talk to other actors about, like, if you're playing a villain in these, you're usually very over the top,
yeah,
very, very crazy. And then if you are like the male lead or the female lead, they're more like this romantic, softer dynamic, and they get to be a little more real and grounded.
yeah,
Uh, Whereas like everyone else on the sides is kind of these like extremes. And I would just caution, like, other actors who are doing these that are not the leads. I would caution them to not read comments and
yeah,
to take that all away, because you are told and made to be this exaggerated character that's not, it can get in your own mind where you're like, oh gosh, like, I wasn't acting great or whatever. No, it's the script, and it's how you are supposed to do those roles, because there's a formula to it for clicks and it going
mm,
viral and catching attention. And I just
yeah,
think it's very easy for some actors who are very training very hard to be like real and grounded, when they play these other roles that are villains and things, they kind of get sucked into having to kind of make a clown out of themselves in many ways. So
yeah.
instead of challenging that, I think it's good to just tap into it and know that that is the style of it, and that you can't control that. The more that you try to like make that real, the more that it's just not going to go great. So instead of fighting it, I would say my advice is to lean into it and say, yes, this script is ridiculous. This character is ridiculous. This makes no sense at all. But just to run with that and to make that fun for yourself, because ultimately that's what it has to be.
That's some great advice. Really
Mhm.
good advice. I also, you don't get much time to film these either, so you just kind of have to, you can't think about it too much because,
No,
yeah, you just have to
absolutely.
appreciate what you did and then, accept it and go, yep, okay, it is what it is. And
Yeah.
you learn from that experience as well.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of long hours, a lot of people that just watch these, I don't think really have any idea the amount
Mm,
of work that goes into it. And when you are like a main villain in these two, honestly, it is extremely physical as well because there's always, the most slaps or the most
mm,
things thrown in your face, or there's a lot of like physicality of like punches and all kinds of things that happen a little more with those roles. And I think sometimes those get underappreciated a little bit. So it's important to
yeah,
look out for yourself in the process.
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, okay. Is there anything that you would like to talk to anyone about? Like, is there something that you would like to say to everybody about the experience that you've had or something like that?
Um, well, I would say, people who just know me, I would love to say that people like the people that from these channels that know me from verticals just primarily, that um I just want people to know that I have this whole other side to my career, that I do come from this strong theater background, that I do sing, that I did a movie that's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, and it's called Sex Love Venice, and shot it in Italy. And that's a very grounded, real, raw, emotional performance that is an LGBT romance that is that's just beautiful and beautifully made. And I think people that just see me in verticals or something, have their own thoughts. And I can't control what people think, but I do I do want to put out there in some way that like I am so much more than this person who is getting slapped and punched all the time on these, that I really am a sensitive, grounded person, who has worked very hard and trained very hard and has a lot more abilities than I've been able to showcase on these platforms. So I'm just hoping for more opportunity to grow within those. More chances to show myself, more chances to lead, more of
Mm.
these. I would love that opportunity to tap into just more of that and sharing that part of myself.
Absolutely. I mean, I still haven't been able to watch Sex Love Venice because it's not in Australia. Um, and I have no idea how to use a VPN. So I will find a way to be able to watch it at some point because
I did hear from our director just a couple days ago that it's very, very, very soon going to be international release. So you will be able to very, very, very soon, and I will be sure to make sure you're one of the first people to give that link to and make sure you're good
thank
to.
you. You have just made my day. I've been wanting to watch it for so long. I keep seeing all the ads, and I remember making you the poster a long time ago. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this. And then realized I couldn't. And I'm like, oh, that
Yeah,
hurt.
it's by far the most, magical thing I've done. I mean, it to lead a feature film and abroad, and um, I just remember it was almost a year ago that we had our first premiere before releasing and
Yeah.
everything, when my parents were sitting, side by side, and I'm in the middle at this premiere of like 600 people, completely sold out, and watching me lead this entire film up there on the big screen and being in theaters after that. I mean, it was a really big deal and a big part of my life. And I think a lot of, like I said, people outside the vertical world don't even know that I kind of like did this. So it's just
Yeah.
something that I kind of just kept to myself. I mean, not that I haven't shared it online, but my coming back
Yeah.
to like we talked about before, that I did sort of get into a hard spot of like, here I am, like being, a male lead sometimes or a villain or whatever in the vertical space. And then I did, this LGBT romance film where I was the lead, and wanting to promote that and push that out, but having to kind of find the audience for that, but then also trying to keep some of it away from the vertical casting world. And it's been a weird kind of thing to navigate and figure out for me, to be honest. But I'm just trying to be
Yeah.
as authentic, real as I can in the process.
I mean, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's upsetting to know that you have to not hide, but reduce some of who you are to frame a certain audience, like or certain, the directors and stuff like that. I can't wait until we're to a point where it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I think that, it comes with confidence. Like with me, it's like I've sort of gotten more to a point in my life now where I'm like the real masculinity, if you want to talk about that, is
Mm,
being truthful. That
absolutely. Yeah.
that is being someone who is unapologetically themselves and doesn't hide things or whatever. Like that is someone who is strong,
Yeah.
and that's where I think we need to kind of change that. It doesn't make you weaker in any way um to be, different, to be LGBT, to be
Mm.
autistic, to be, anything out there in the world, whatever it is that makes you a minority. It's that it takes nothing from you. It's just a part of you.
Absolutely. I mean, my daughter has ADHD and sensory issues, and she tries to withdraw herself away from being different.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, it's okay, be different. You are different, be different. But I don't like her to feel that she's different in a bad way.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
just different, you know? And
yeah,
it's even if you aren't fully comfortable within yourself, as she's 9, so she's not there yet.
yeah, yeah.
Try to be confident, outside of that. Like just come across as confident and it will, you know, it'll make you feel better and things like that. It will help you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, beautiful to give that to your daughter and let her
Mm.
experience that, and to find her power in being unique. It's a
Yeah,
great thing, you know.
it's
Especially, I mean, what we also forget too is just that being an actor is being vulnerable, is
oh
being
yeah.
h- yeah. I mean, how are you supposed to be authentic in some of these performances if you're not, drawing in some of that vulnerability? The camera is going to pick up everything. So,
Yeah.
or you can be real, the better it's going to be.
You got to tap into tap into something inside to make that happen.
And that's why doing, like I said, a feature film like Sex Love Venice was great, because I really got to just be emotionally honest,
Mm.
and not take everything so extreme, but just have it be very conversational and real.
Yeah, I mean, so doing Sex Love Venice, you obviously had more time to film than you do in a vertical too.
Yes.
Yeah. How long did that one take to shoot?
About 3 weeks, I think,
Okay.
maybe a little bit more if you count, because we did like a week in LA almost, and then the rest of it was in Italy. So yeah, it still, for a feature film, is pretty quick. But
Yeah, I thought that was like, oh, I was expecting a couple of months, but
yeah, yeah. And that's why, when you watch it too, it's kind of magical sometimes how it works out, because timing wise, we were only able to do the scene maybe twice some of the time. And when we watch it, without a lot of rehearsal or anything, it's like, oh, it's amazing that some of the scenes came together like they did, because we really just had to keep rolling. And there's one scene, I won't completely spoil it, but there is one that, whenever you watch it, that takes place in this library that is very famous, that nobody ever gets to shoot at. And we had like a 30-minute bracket that they let us do it, and that was it, because we begged and begged and begged, and they said you have to get here in the very morning right before we open. You got like 30 minutes. So they were setting up, getting, lighting ready, getting everything ready, camera crew, and we just had to like do it. And it was like one time, and it's my favorite scene in the movie. So you
Oh,
just,
I can't wait. I'm going to look out for that scene particularly now.
yeah, it'll be great.